Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel. We talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here today. Today also happens to be Terrifying Tuesday on this channel, where we talk about all things horror. And today, we're going to talk about Scream 8. That's right, Scream 8 theories and ideas. Let's jump right into it. So if you haven't heard, Scream 8 is going to be happening. This is the word on the street. It's gonna happen. And already everyone has theories. Everyone has these ideas about what to expect or what they want to see in Scream 8. And let's get one thing straight. It's all about what they want to see. Theories at this point are sort of just people saying, hey, this is what I want. And why not? Why not? That's part of the joy of being a fan. That's part of the fun to get together and sort of talk about these ideas that you have. And I thought that I would tell you a few theories that I have. A few that could happen, and one that, if it did happen, would be the craziest thing you've ever seen. But wow, what a movie it would turn out to be. Alright, so getting into my first theory, of course, I think that Sidney Prescott's definitely going to be coming back with Tatum taking that leading role. Her daughter, Tatum, will be the new final girl going forward. Now, the problem with this is that they're going to have to take out some of the older cast. Because if Tatum's going to have some friends, then we're going to have to see new friends. Because, let's be real, and we will, of course, be talking spoilers here, just in case you haven't seen Scream 7. But if you're watching this video, I assume you have. But Tatum's friends have all been murdered at this point. She ended that movie with no friends at all. And that's kind of changing the game anyway, because at the end of the original Scream, at least Sidney walked out with a few friends, right? All of that is irrelevant though, because if Tatum is taking over as the final girl, now she has to get a group of friends. My first theory involves her actually getting new friends, possibly going to college. It would be a college setting just like Scream 2 was, where maybe she has a boyfriend again, maybe she has some friends that she trusts, and this time it would turn out to be her friends, except her friends would know exactly who Tatum is, and it would be the reason for them going after her. Now, in this scenario, of course, someone has to die from the original cast. You can't keep people like Gale Weathers alive. And I don't think we're going to get to see some of the people that were in Scream 7 coming back other than the Meeks twins. I do believe that the Meeks twins will move forward as the reporting duo. It was kind of set up. I think that that will be a thing. So now you have Gale Weathers, and Gale Weathers could die in Scream 8. I know, I thought she was gonna die in Scream 7. Really, honestly, I did. But then they kind of gave her the same treatment that Sidney got in Scream 5. So I kind of look at it like, okay, if they bring her back this time, there's nothing keeping her on the canvas. Nothing at all. And there's really nothing keeping Sidney on the canvas. But, you know, if you keep Sidney around, she doesn't have to be the main focal point of the series anymore. So I definitely think we get the end of Gale Weathers. That is my number one prediction. And my theory about Scream 8 is that we'll sort of go into the history a little bit more. We will get something about why they're doing this, and it could very well turn out to be that they're just obsessed with Sidney. Again, only taking it out on her daughter. I think that's a very plausible way of looking at it. They want to do what no one else has done. Kill Sidney Prescott, only Sidney Prescott isn't going to be a big, huge element in the story. So instead, they will be going after her daughter. In their version, they kill Sidney Prescott, and Sidney Prescott, in their version, is Tatum. That's my first theory. My second theory that I have, my second crazy theory, is the one that, if it happens, it would be probably the most insane movie they could do. The killers from Scream 7, who went back to Woodsboro to get the documents claiming that Stu is dead, actually didn't get those documents. They weren't able to find them either. And we never got word on whether or not they were able to find them. All we know is that those documents went missing. And the only person who could verify that Stu Macher had made it to the morgue was gone as of 3 years before. She had died 3 years ago. So this is the crazy theory. If you don't know, one of the endings that they were playing around with that actually got filmed was that Stu Macher lived. And what happened is the test audience didn't like it, so they could totally use it in the next movie. We take it all the way back to Scream 1. And who is his partner? Who is the one that he has been dealing with the entire time? Well, it's Tatum's sister. His girlfriend, Tatum's sister. Twin sister. Now, this comes from an interview a long time ago where Rose McGowan had talked about the fact that there was 2 beds in Tatum's room and how she always thought it was weird, like there was a sister that maybe got cut or something like that, or a sister who didn't make it to the movie. And she had theorized at one point that it could be a twin sister and that she could potentially come back. Of course, she was only being halfway serious, but it stands to reason. There were 2 beds in the room. Obviously, this bed wasn't Dewey's bed. They were not sharing a room. It's possible that they could have been at earlier ages and the bed just never got removed. But let's pretend for a second like there is a sister, a twin sister. And this twin sister just wasn't part of the story. She wasn't part of anything we ever saw because she was unimportant to Sidney's friend group. In other words, she just wasn't there. Much like Sam's mother wasn't there, but we know that Sam's mother was around in high school because, hello, at the end, Billy died. So if Billy died while they were still in high school, then of course Sam's mom had to be in high school with him. So it stands to reason there are kids that we don't get to meet. One of these kids is Tatum's twin sister. Tatum's twin sister is the one that helps Stu. Now, this, of course, still kind of goes around with the theory that Stu Macher's family is rich and Stu Macher's family would have taken him away to some sort of institution or something and pretended as though he was dead. Now, of course, in this scenario, the mortician knows that he was never there. They know that everything was faked. And that's why they had to die. And my theory is that they were kind of bought into silence. And several years pass. Tatum's twin sister, we'll call her Tiffany. For the sake of this video, we'll call her Tiffany. Tiffany and Stu have been living a life together, maybe even quietly. And all of a sudden, Stu Macher notices that his image is being used on some AI deepfake thing to torment Sidney Prescott. And Stu might have even been willing to let her go. He's living this quiet life. He has everything under control. He doesn't want anything to do with her until he sees this guy. And then, of course, he doesn't want this. He doesn't want to have somebody else steal his identity to torment Sidney, so he's going to do it instead. It kind of is a bit on par with what we know about Stu Macher. Now, in terms of him teaming up with Tiffany, this is going to be interesting. Sidney, if she sees Stu Macher, is going to instantly think that it's nothing but AI. Stu Macher cannot possibly be alive, right? But then you get this scenario where this twin, Tiffany, shows up. Now, at first, Sidney's going to look at this and maybe freak out just a little bit. She'll probably put it together pretty quickly, but we don't know that for sure. Basically, when she sees her, there's got to be some sort of freak out about this. I mean, this is her best friend's dead sister, whether she actually knew her or not. And I assume in this scenario, she knew her. So putting it together wouldn't be that hard. But Tiffany, why would she be doing this? Number one, she loves Stu Macher. Maybe she always loved Stu Macher and was a part of it all from the beginning. This would make sense going into the scenario as to why they are together now. But then you also have the fact that on the news, now Sidney is talking about her daughter, Tatum, and how she named it after her friend. Now, Tiffany probably don't like the idea that this daughter is named after her twin sister. She's probably not going to be too happy about that. So there's her motive in this also. Just a little side motive. But it could be a really cool thing. Well, they could even attempt to make Sidney believe that they're not the killers. Maybe tell her that they're not involved in it in any way. And this would be acceptable too. Maybe they're telling the truth, but then alternatively, maybe we find out at the end that they are in fact the killers. And that would be more likely the way it would go. Now, the fun thing there is that they could be coaching the college students that are involved in these murders, the ones that are the new ghost faces, or they could be the sole ghost faces. Either one would be acceptable. And it could go the route of the whole thing with the cult of Ghostface. That could finally be the thing that happens in future movies. Alternatively, here's my other working theory. We bring in Sam's mom. She could be Stu's accomplice. Maybe she loved Stu this entire time and voila. Or even bring her in by herself. But for now, let's stick with this whole Stu Macher theory and bring in yet another person with him. And that would be, of course, like I said, Sam's mom. Maybe Sam's mom has been helping Stu Macher. And this could allow them to bring back the Carpenter sisters into this thing as well, because that's another theory that I have, that despite whatever happens here, that we aren't done completely with the Carpenter sisters. I would like to see them come back. I would like to see them finish whatever story they finish. Granted, the ending of Scream 6 was kind of their ending. And, you know, they got their ending, sort of. But the Meeks twins are back. Why not bring them back? So my theories kind of range from the it could happen to the sort of insane. And then let's talk about what I want to see in terms of more Ghostface and all that. Of course, I loved the violence of the Scream 7 deaths. I loved it. I loved how they did that. The whole thing with them sort of making him more ruthless was awesome. That was one of the better things they did in this movie, and I would like to see it continued that way. I would like to see them actually go that direction. So that's my main takeaway. And of course, as always, like everyone says, What about Ghostface in the snow? What about it? Or my personal thought, what about Ghostface in the rain? I want some vicious storm and Ghostface chasing someone through puddles as lightning strikes behind and thunder roars, and you get this whole big horror movie vibe. But that's where we're going to end this. I want to know all of your thoughts, your theories. What do you want to see? What are your theories in terms of what could happen? Make sure you leave me that comment in the comment box below. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of this crazy conversation we're having. Then you're going to want to hit that like button. If you like positive content and you want more of it, let the algorithm know it by smashing that like button. And then, if you like our channel personally, you know what to do. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell right next to it so you never miss a single video we do. Because, friends, we have so much to talk about. And at the end of the day, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.